Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Joey. These are the Bark River knives called the AmbushBrute. Each one is the AmbushBrute. I took the original videos down because I was a little upset about some things. You notice that the bottom knife is called the red linen micarta with the high gloss finish. It looks more like maroon drab linen micarta with glossy finish. The one on top is snakeskin micarta. It was originally sculpted and thicker, and sculpted meaning that it had little places in the knife itself with ridges, and I found it uncomfortable. So what happened was I used a work sharp on it, and I had used it a while. I made a fire out of green wood, and while I didn't baton it, I did some, I'm not gonna say extreme things with it, but I put the edge to where I needed, it wasn't just hair popping sharp. And it was surprised me with 3V because I only did it with 2 or 3 big, good sized limbs. Well, I went to sharpen it and I rounded the tip. And so I had to send it back to Bark River. So talked to Mike Stewart for an hour and a half. We got to talking because we had a lot in common, especially hunting and knives. And he's actually a pretty good fellow. I like him. Those people who have talked trash about Mike Stewart, they're mainly this one guy's fans that has done nothing but talk bad about Bark River since I think he's made a name for himself just for bashing people. And he's a metallurgist and he's never made a knife. I'm not bashing him, but anyhow, he's definitely scientific when it comes to steel. Okay, steel. All right, so anyway, there's only so much science that's going to go into a piece of metal, and I don't mean that lightly, and I don't mean it harshly either. But anyway, this one came back with the height, not as high, the blade height going from edge to spine. I did a lot of this trying to get the point back on. I finally got pissed off. Called Mike Stewart, told him what happened. He said, don't ever use it. He said, throw away the work sharp guides and learn to do it by hand. I made sure the knife never got hot while I was doing it. I had a glass of ice water beside me. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but the knife never got hot. It never got warm. I just dry it off after I stick it in the water and get to going again. So I don't think I ruined the steel or anything. It came back hair popping sharp, more sharp than this one, more sharp than both of them came originally. But what happened was, as you can see right here, along the edge right here where the spine and where it sabers off to where you go towards the convex, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's more pronounced here than it is up here on this knife because they actually had to grind, it looks like the sides off, some of the sides, to get that tip back on. And the spine itself is still 4 millimeters, 0.156 to be exact. If you notice that the tip is not ground even, it's just a little bit off. They took more off the left side than the right. I'm trying to hold it as still as I can with shaky coffee hands. All right, and then this one, you'll be able to see. And that's pretty much the tip that I left on it after using the work sharp. The work sharp did tear it up a little bit right here at the base, right there. You can barely see right there where the edge is, where it goes up toward the spine a little bit. Same thing on the other side. The other side is not quite as prominent. But anyway, this knife is just an overview of the Bark River, or specifically the AmbushBrute knives. Do I think they're worth your money? No. I think your Ambush Alpha is worth your money because you're getting a 5.125 inch blade with the same height and a thicker spine, going from, instead of like this is 0.156, 4 millimeters precisely, you're getting 0.187, which is 5 millimeters right around. So, and also when you get into the screws here, see the screws versus the sanded down? Well, the screws are the ones that don't usually have a gloss finish when you go to buy these knives. This was spa treatment. I told them to remove the sculpture And this knife in my original videos looked completely different than it does now. It's called Snakeskin Micarta. And I actually like this knife over this one now. If I was to compare the palm swells, see if I can do it without making y'all seasick here, because I'm holding the camera. It's just easier this way to get right above my knives, because it's not like I'm a Hollywood producer here. And I do this for fun, not for money. Those of you who think I need to do my videos like nut and fancy. So yeah, I'm kind of joking, but this right here is way more palm swell than here. And Mike warned me about that, the president of Bark River, those of you who don't know who that is. See, these are lined up pretty much perfect. You can see about a 1/4 inch gone off of the one on the right. That's because I rounded the tip off and they had to re-tip it. So they re-tipped it, they took the sculpture off, and they put high gloss finish for me. But the spines are still identical at 4 millimeters, which is great. They just took more of the side of the metal off here, and they had to take some off the bottom to get the point back. And the point still isn't perfect, as I pointed out before. But this has become my new favorite. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels, especially right here. It's kind of a long handle, to be honest with you, because choking back on it, I mean, you're not even in the finger choil anymore, which can be okay. But here's my main qualm with the knives, is that I had to get them to put CPM 3V on this knife. And I've had a lot of people ask me through Google Plus or what have you, and friends of mine that seen these videos, they've asked me, they said, hey Joey, you know, like, why doesn't it say what steel it is? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, that's a good question. Why doesn't it say what steel it is? If you're using CPM 3V, why wouldn't you want to show it off? Well, I can tell you, after building a fire with this one, I haven't sharpened it again because I was scared to use a work sharp, which means I have to reprofile the whole darn thing. And it is 3V, so it's not going to be super easy to use the Spyderco triangular sharp maker model 204 with ceramic rods to redo this knife. Okay, that's what I'm good at. You know, bash me if you want, please don't. You know, I'm not that good with a stone, and I'm not going to sit here and practice with a stone. It takes too long. Okay, this right here is the edge that it has on it now. You see how many times it just hung up? All right, which tells me I didn't baton this knife. I didn't cut through bone. I wasn't skinning a deer, and I definitely wasn't deboning anything and hitting bone. So why is it cutting like crap if it's 3V? Maybe that's what 3V does, but I can tell you this. I put a 25-degree edge on this with the sharp maker. Not sharp maker, I'm sorry, the work sharp, the electric work sharp, 25 degrees. 25 degrees should not be hanging up like this after cutting through 3 limbs. Green, 2 green limbs and 1 dead limb to make a fire. Just, I did it to test the fire still in front of some family members to show that I could make a fire. It was kind of a bet thing going that, you know, hey, it's a green limb. You can't even hardly cut through the limb with your expensive 3V knife, you know, quote unquote. So, yeah, it's a little disappointing seeing that. Now, this knife came back from the factory sharper than neither one of them did originally, of course, because, you know, they took more off the edge. And I don't know what angle that they used. I don't know. I think it was just free-handed. It seemed like it had a freaking 10-degree edge on it. But I barely used this to cut and make a few spears out of some limbs that were no bigger than big twigs. And it cuts, okay? But can you hear it? Very loud. Very loud. It's wanting to hang up. So it's not perfect. I mean, but you can tell that it's a lot sharper than the other one. But what my last point of this video is when knife companies, yeah, don't put 3V on their blades, and you have to request to have them stamped. Is it truly 3V? I don't know. I just got a Cold Steel Master Hunter. I think I showed that in a video just recently. How about this knife? Okay, Cold Steel. It's made in Taiwan, They make these by the hundreds, I'm sure. Cold steel, Taiwan. Okay? Not being sarcastic, I'm just making a point here. Look at all the belly you have on this knife. And look what it says. Wait, are they actually... Gosh, they are. It's not going to pick up now. But they have CPM 3V advertised as the blade steel. And this camera's not going to work. There it goes. It is going to work. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so why would you spend what I spent? This is usually $99.95 in most places. I bought it on sale for $85.99 at Midway USA. It was on sale for a while. I bought it on sale and thought it was a steal, and it is a steal. This is supposed to be 3V as well. I will test this knife, not skinning, but I will test it at my brother's house on the same tree with the same limbs, and I will try to cut paper with it. And if it does the same as these, I'll make one more 2 or 3 minute video saying, hey, it's just what 3V does. Cold steel may heat treat their blades different. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the process of the heat treat exactly for this steel, for CPM 3V. But what I do know is I'm disappointed with these two brutes, Ambush Brutes, in the performance. They have a working edge. This one still has more than a working edge, but it still lost some of its sharpness. This one here is ridiculous. Even if I did use the work sharp on it, it shouldn't be that dull. It shouldn't be hanging up that much. It's 3V. Come on, 3V is supposed to hold an edge longer than, I mean, I didn't even baton with it, much less do anything. I didn't hit any rocks. I didn't even go through any knots because I wasn't batoning. I mean, I did strip small limbs off of a limb, but I'm talking small limbs. Oh my gosh. Small limbs the size of this fire steel. And you see my thumb next to the fire steel. Yeah, I bite my nails, sorry. I'm a nervous person. But this is firesteel.com, by the way. It's the only one I would recommend. If anybody wants to see the Bear Grylls fire steel versus the Light My Fire from Sweden versus the cheap Schrade versus the Coughlins from Academy versus the firesteel.com, let me know. I'll show you. I'll do a close-up, and I'll do it in the dark, and I'll show you how long these freaking sparks burn after they hit what you're throwing them at. It's ridiculous. Firesteel.com is the name of the website. Not advertising for them. I'm just letting those of you who may not know out there know about it, and let you know that these two brutes, if you are on the fence about them, between the brutes and the alpha, get the alpha. It's the same exact handle, same palm swell. You're getting 1 millimeter more of spine thickness, and you're getting another 1.25 inches, right around there, of blade length. And they, like I said, the same pommel, the same everything on that knife. I do think it's 3V deep down. I'm unsure about the heat treat, and only time will tell after I put another kind instead of a convex. I thought convex would do the best. I'm gonna put a different kind of angle on here with the Spyderco on them, and I'm gonna see how they work out then. And we need to test this one. I need to test this one, and I really need to just do them all and show them to you. But you know, it's kind of not my thing to show it. You can take my word for it, or you can just watch another video. But if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, just ask in the comment section. I'll answer every one of your questions. I read every one of the comments. Thanks a lot, and God bless.